And 2020 was Rockford's deadliest year. You've already heard the number, 36 people killed in our city. You've heard from police, the mayor, and more. But now we introduce you to the people who lost someone last year. Because with 36 dead come 36 families with heartache. This is their story and their call to end violence. How do you put a lifetime into a 5-minute news story?
This interview is so short when it comes down to what her and I have to say.
What about 3?
I don't know. I just take it day at a time.
Or 4?
Grieving has become a companionship of mine. I often grieve. I just pray.
Or 36?
My brother gone. My other brother gone. It's more people gone. It's a whole story to tell about 2020.
This is that story. Rockford's deadliest year may be done, but the pain still pierces the people who lost loved ones last year.
When we lost him, a lot of people lost him.
Lisa lost her fiance, Clifton Totten, to gun violence on May 4th.
21 years old, very outgoing, into sports, crazy about all of his family, especially his grandmother, his mother, and all of his siblings.
Rebecca's son, Cameron Dunlap, shot and killed almost 2 weeks later, May 16th.
Some days I do want to give up. I have wanted to give up, didn't want to be here no more. Because when he left, part of me left.
Tasha Finklea's son, Eric O'Shea Elliott, shot and killed in August.
To describe him, you just have to know him. And to know him, you will love him.
The Macklins lost their son, Damavli, at the end of September. Gun violence. It's that grief these families still grapple with. How do you all cope with loss?
It's a process. Maintaining, processing the process.
You must have a good support system. That's very important. Even if they don't talk, just be there with you and just sit in silence or listen to you cry.
A good support system is what they rely on. They sometimes cry on to help them carry on.
I think that's very important. If you don't have that, find it in the church, your co-workers, therapy, somebody, in order to feel like you can breathe again.
Each day is different in the months since they lost their loved one. Some good, some bad.
Nothing is going to ever feel that feeling. Nothing. Time, prayers, in my eyes.
His clothes still hang in the closet. His shoes still under the bed. I sleep in his bathrobe. The grandchildren wear his slippers. I mean, it's just, you don't want to feel like you're getting rid of them. And you keep those things close to you.
Is it a memory thing or is it a moving on thing? Which is it? Or is it both?
It's both. Because I have over 3,000 photos. And they're all of my kids and grandkids. My mom. And I'll delete theirs before I delete Cameron's.
They also hope the community doesn't forget about their family members because they too were members of this community.
Actually feel what those people who've lost that person to feel the same emotion, basically, or kind of have sympathy. But I do believe he was robbed of his life.
Hopefully the young people wake up. The streets it's not where it's at. I've been here.
The people on the streets don't think about the people sitting in these pews.
And that's true. What if it was their son, or their brother, or their husband, or their mother, And people don't look at it like that.
But when you have gun violence like this, it affects everybody, the children, how they don't have their fathers or their grandfathers. And it's just a ripple effect.
A ripple effect in Rockford's deadliest year that they believe can change, but only within.
And I talked to him one time and I asked him, where did we go wrong? What did we do wrong? Like, it ain't you, Dad. It ain't moms. It ain't nothing that y'all did wrong. It's just me. So if the message, as far as a father from the streets, son losing to gun violence, the dad didn't react, if that could be a message, there you go.
We'll take that message and change inside to keep this feeling from happening to more families.
Just hope we reach someone. It's unfortunate that our young African-American young men are just being gunned down for senseless actions.
So we don't have to continue to try to put entire lives into 5-minute news stories.
This right here, yes, very helpful. It's a lot of things that we can learn from each other.
And two of these cases are still unsolved. The shooting of Eric O'Shea Elliott has no charges attached to it. In the shooting of Cameron Dunlap, someone is charged, but not with murder. The teen originally charged with murder was released a couple of weeks ago. Charges there were dropped. If you have any information on those two cases or any of those cases or others, call the Rockford Police Department.